They were there, I hopped on that bandwagon and I never got off.
It's a little embarrassing to say that you watched a bunch of oiled up big dudes, pretend to beat the hell out of each other for 3 hours a night.
Every time I start my car, I know my neighbors are like, oh, this guy again.
It was the most beautiful sunny day. Yeah, that was a really, really big, crazy moment just to be in a pool of technically strangers, but it all felt like your friends.
I'm a huge pro wrestling fan.
I belong to the Raptors fandom.
The car community.
One Direction.
When I was a little kid, I always kind of remember it being on in the background of my house. And then I want to say maybe 4 or 5 years old, my dad got me this video game. Since then, I've been watching all the time. I have seldom missed an episode of any big wrestling promotion out there.
Growing up, I always loved the Fast and Furious movies. My father used to be into cars.
I'm from Toronto. It's just so ingrained in Toronto culture that it's hard to miss. So I really can't see myself repping anybody else.
Well, my cousins really liked boy bands when they were younger, so I wanted to like boy bands. And One Direction came at the perfect time.
As I got more entranced in the entertainment, I decided, you know what, no, this is something that I like, and there are other people out there who are like me.
I think they're seeing a really close-knit group of people bond over something that's really positive and that's really spectacular to watch unfold.
You meet so many people of all different financial status. You could go to a car meet and be talking to someone with a rusted 95 Honda Civic, and then someone else would be right next to them that owns a McLaren, and you guys are all talking about the same thing.
So it's kind of like finding that new kind of family, but disconnected, I guess, in a way, because I don't actually know these people.
What wrestling is that tribal feel. It's a very masculine soap opera. There's drama, horror, comedy, romance, fighting.
Very aggressive, but passionate, I think is the right way to put it.
We're delusional and we get rowdy, but we're still the best.
I think that people that aren't part of the community just view us as troublemakers.
They've seen that this is something that a lot of people support and that a lot of different types of people support.
The people that you meet within that group, it's so small, but it becomes so big.
It gives you a sense of purpose as you're rooting for the protagonist in a movie.
There's always that celebration when they hit 1 million streams on Spotify and you're like, I did that, I was a part of that, I was there.
Being in the car community, you have to be respectful for everyone else. There's people that aren't part of the car community that just because they're not part of the car community doesn't mean they have to like what you're doing. You need to respect that and understand that not everyone's gonna be a fan.
The community is pretty accepting. It's not a very toxic community. There's a lot of new fans coming.
To be a Raptors fan, to put it very plainly, and I guess ghetto in a sense, is you are a Toronto man. You have to be very confident when you step in and tell people that you're a Raptors fan, because obviously you'll get laughed at by anybody who's not a Raptors fan because they still don't take us seriously.
Like I said, you'd wake up at 4 in the morning, check your phone, they release an album. So then, because you need to hear that album right away, you'd stay up until 5 a.m. listening to the album, and then you'd have to share your thoughts. So then you'd stay up from 4 to 6 and posting about it and how amazing it is and your favorite songs.
Just by supporting and just by showing that you really do care.
I think the fandom really comes out online during actual episodes of the shows. So there's a lot of hours of wrestling a week. The fans will go on to Twitter or Reddit or wherever online and talk about how much they like the product, or they'll critique it, but they'll all come together and it's very communal.
I would say the car community is mostly online. Actually going to a car meet to meet people and see the cars in person and make friends. That's what's the really enjoyable part for it.
A lot of my friendships in high school and elementary school were because we were mutual fans of the band, and we'd reminisce on the older early days of One Direction. So you don't have that online. You just read the post and you like it and move on.
For me, it's helped me find friends. It's also, weirdly enough, helped me find a girlfriend.
There's like a few people that like would go to their hotel rooms in lingerie to see if they would like sleep with them.
So, you know, saying that you like something is one thing, and then showing it is another thing. What you wear is going to be a big part of it. So obviously what you put on your body and what people see on you is ultimately what they think you represent.
I would always see cars on the road, and I'd be like, oh, like what's that sticker on their windshield? Like, where do they all meet up? Like, I want to see this. You throw a banner on your windshield of the car group you're part of. Like, for example, I have VQ North on the back of mine, a t-shirt too.
I collect some memorabilia. I think most people in the fandom, and most people who would call themselves fans, not casual fans, but hardcore fans, have t-shirts, merchandise, things like that. I think the craziest thing that I've done as a fan is gotten permanent ink on my body to show my love for pro wrestling.
When I was a kid, like I said, I had like stopped doing a lot of like activities I liked pretty early. Gave me confidence in like one way because I know what I'm talking about when I talk about One Direction.
You know, I was pretty down, really stressful times of my life throughout school, work, a lot of stuff going on. Definitely being in the car community helped that because, like I said before, everyone else looks past that. You're just there because you have a similar love for automobiles. Like,
I use pro wrestling as escapism. If I'm kind of having a down day, I'll, you know, turn some wrestling on in the background. Kind of makes me feel a little better, lifts up my spirits.
I feel like I've been a part of something that has gone on like an upward trend, you know what I mean?
A lot of my childhood memories revolve around wrestling. I had a very one-track mind as a kid. It was wrestling, wrestling, wrestling. That's all that kind of mattered to me. So watching it now really helps me kind of get those giddy childhood feelings that I once had, and you know, makes me feel like a kid again. You hear that a lot.
I mean, it really gave me something to do. In high school, I like stopped playing soccer. I really stopped doing like art classes because I got really busy. And then I had like free time that I didn't want to spend doing homework. So I like kept on with the One Direction phase.
We are repping and we are supporting something that is a movement of this entire nation and what we represent and what we're about and how ingrained Raptors culture now is to Canadian culture.
I think the pro wrestling fandom is definitely going to grow. It's becoming more niche, so it's becoming smaller, but more people are finding out about it, and so it's constantly growing.
To watch it expand over across the country, and then to watch it for the entire world, just seeing people wear Raptors gear and stuff like that in other countries. So to see that more people are getting involved in it is really cool.
You just have to find a similar group of like-minded people to kind of like make a group with.
It's such a wonderful community, and it's something that brings people closer together through something very positive, which is what I appreciate about it.
Once you're part of a group, then no one really bugs you because, you know, if you're a part of the group, then you mean something, you know what I mean?